It's just Martin91, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Black Panther, the 18th movie in the MCU chronology. And it shortly takes place after Civil War, along the lines of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man Homecoming, same timeline kind of, but simultaneously. I ended up doing it the way that I did it. Yeah. Alright, there's a lot of points for me to cover, and I don't know how much time I have on my phone's memory, and how much you guys are willing to stick with me. So I'm going to try and amp this out as full as I can, to the best extent that I can, trying to cover every single point that I'm trying to make. So here we go. Black Panther is one of the most controversial movies in the MCU, to the point where basically it's still a toss-up of how favored or unfavored it is. A lot of people think it's overrated. It's just based on the attention it got. And of course it got a lot of attention. This movie did better domestically in Canada and the US than it did overseas. And there's a reason for that. I mean, we all know there's a reason for that. Beyond that, of course, it's a superhero movie. And as an origin story, I valued it a lot because it had a lot to cover. It introduced us to Black Panther as T'Challa, of course, but it introduced us to a nation. It introduced us to a lot of side characters that actually are going to have to take part in the future of the MCU. Okoye, Shuri, a lot of them are going to be pivotal. And these are also female characters, so take that into effect as well. There's a lot of things that this movie actually opened the new MCU generation to. So far, we only knew, Iron Man and Howard Stark were the ones who were innovative and tech and brought tech to the MCU's kind of baseline, where a lot of things originated from. Captain America or Tony Stark, Iron Man for Tony Stark. And it's like, there's so much, and now we are realizing that there's so much that basically, by the way, Howard Stark actually has something to go back to when he basically did Cap's shield. There's a lot of things here that are connected based off of Black Panther and Wakanda and a lot of things. This is a whole new world that was opened up to the world. And it is actually going to take center stage in the new phase, whatever that phase is going to be after Endgame. These guys also got brought into Infinity War, and they're going to be in Endgame as well. And honestly, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. One of my biggest praises for this movie, among other things, because I love the CGI as well, and it got a lot of beef, but there's a lot of shots in here that I loved. And honestly, when you watched it in the theater, the movie has some dark moments, basically, in the fight sequences at the end. And when you're watching it in a theater in 3D and all that, the 3D already glazes the image and makes it darker. There were a lot of things why I prefer watching this movie on my 4K TV, which brings out the best of the brights and the deepest of the darks, over a movie screen. I had my issues with that visually on a movie screen. I enjoyed it, but there were limitations that this overpowered. I'm going to put that out there. It was less enjoyable in the theater, in my opinion. Watched it here, and I liked it. And I saw it about 4 times since it came out on Blu-ray. And I actually have it on 4K, sorry. So 4K is even better. Sorry. Yeah, one of the biggest praises I had wasn't even the CG. It was the villain. As I said before, there's only a handful of villains in the MCU that actually are meant to be taken seriously. And it's not because, most of these villains were not even written as such in the comics. These are going off comics. This is going offbeat. This is making them relatable, not to an extent that it mimics human issues in our actual lives. Mimics things that basically drive people that actually we are willing to kind of understand. But it's to the point where it's okay, well, Killmonger was a great villain. So was Thanos to an extent. So was Helmut Zemo from Civil War. And most of these are not comic book true to the comics. Their personalities are, sure, but the motivations that they had to do what they did, to challenge what they challenged, to accomplish what they accomplished, is so different but it makes it actually amps it up, and a lot of people agree with that. Now you may not, and if you don't like what I have to say, please, let's hash it out. That's what I've been saying for a very long time. I do like talking about these things, and I have my own views, and a lot of people have their own views, and I can respect that. But yeah, above all else, Black Panther was one of the most monumental things that came out of Phase 3. Captain America Civil War was great. I had fun with it. A lot of movies I had fun with. But this had something that I believe even Infinity War did not have. I loved Infinity War. It is one of my favorite movies in the MCU, higher than Black Panther. But I still understand and value what Black Panther stands for as a movie and what it stood for as basically, like, our generation needed that. Hell, generations before us needed that. And I really want people to understand that there was a reason why this was nominated at the Oscars. And maybe it didn't deserve it as a movie as much as other criterias did. I'll give that. But it received recognition, and it deserved recognition. And I'm truly happy that it came out when it did, and that it was included in Phase 3, and that it could be a very much future in Phase 4. So thank you, Ryan Coogler. Thank you, MCU. And honestly, thanking them for giving different origins, different genders a voice, different people voices, tackling issues that are so meant to be heard of, but people don't put them on screen anymore. People snap comic book movies all the time, but if this is how people's eyes semi even get opened, then so be it. Let's do it. Let's keep talking. Let's keep telling stories. Let's keep adding to it. This is an amazing endeavor that the MCU is doing, and it's a great installment. Black Panther is a pivotal chapter in the MCU. That is my take. Have a good one, guys.